I want to talk about 2024's Blitz, directed by Steve McQueen. Most notably started by Saoirse Ronan, with some of the other names: Ilya Heffernan, Harris Dickerson, Benjamin Clementine, Kathy Burke, Paul Weller, Stephen Graham. So it's set in London during the World War II and the Nazis, and of course Birmingham is being evacuated. So the primary aspect of the story is Saoirse Ronan and her son, Marcus he's called, and basically they have to be separated. Marcus has to get out of town because in case the Nazis bombed them. And Saoirse Ronan is working away in a factory of some degree. It's not really specified. And it's a story of them trying to unite as the young boy goes missing on the train heading to this kind of boarding school. Stephen Graham shows up. He's just fantastic. It was a strange film because it's moody and focused and real, but Saoirse Ronan's character, while her behaviour is vivid and interesting, and the young boy's is, it's not that compelling because the drama takes its time kicking in, and it's not all that interesting in that you can't really identify with it. I mean, you recognise the brilliance of Steve McQueen's work, but you're not too sure what's going on. But if you stick with it, the characters drawn so vividly, they raise the drama once it kicks in. Stephen Graham plays a bit of a psycho, and in this particular time the scene writing has done so well. He is really crackers. And a bunch of other characters show up throughout it, and the film is ultimately kind of about total human unity. The society, what it's dealing with, the perils of Nazi Germany. There's some chaos, people turning on each other, and he really does highlight a sense of unity among all of us. I mean, London has for the longest time been a mixed race town, so there's a little bit of that going on in the background, and the perils of stress on human beings and how we should all strive to kind of work together under that. And of course, Nazi Germany being the greatest peril of the 20th and 21st century. It looks fantastic. Paul Weller showing up as Saoirse Ronan's dad is nice. I wonder how it came about. I'm sure they probably ran into each other at a party. And he hums a tune in the background, which was nice. And the film was very satisfying at the end. It wasn't as interesting as, say, Shame or Hunger, or as overtly dramatic and compelling as 12 Years a Slave, given the situation the character found himself in. But nonetheless, a really, really good film. I think I just went into it with kind of slightly high expectations, but that was unfair. I don't think this material is either as nebulous in its rich and interesting, like something that nobody was talking about in sex addiction, or the IRA hunger strikers had been well off people's minds when that came out, or slavery hadn't been on the screen for a while and hadn't told with such grit. But it is really good work by a really fantastic filmmaker, and I enjoyed it. It's on Apple TV. It's very engrossing once it gets going, and I think Saoirse Ronan does pop in her scenes as a kind of spirited young single mother working in a factory. And there's all those positive ideas that are going on in society are challenged, that you can grip your imagination to. Racial unity, women in work, mixed race couples, and even English nationalism. I mean, he is from the UK, and economic and socially they're having some challenges at the minute. And a sense of unity is probably most likely the best move forward. So if you've enjoyed his other films, you will enjoy this if you've watched them all, or his documentaries. So I'd recommend it in that fashion. Okay, like and subscribe to my channel. Leave comments on what I've just said, what you think of the film, or if you want me to talk about a film, I'll get to it as soon as I can.